Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Sam and I like to talk a bunch of shit, sometimes piss people off and make people laugh. So if that's your thing, make sure you hit subscribe so that you can listen to me in your ears while you are running around picking up your kids' toys. And as always, if you are not new here, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you more than words can say. Let's get into it. I have decided to lump together days 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the Lady Boss Challenge instead of going through and watching the whole time. We'll just pull out some pieces and react to those and touch on what all went on inside of the challenge. Now, with that said, I will not be removing any of the pieces that you need for the context of this whole challenge disaster, but it definitely went where I thought it was going. And also, I mentioned this in the podcast episode that I just recorded, but I had a momentary lapse of judgment and forgot that when you screen record on your phone, a Zoom call, that it doesn't record the sound. Day 4, I did not get the sound. I have the whole video, but it was very culty and there wasn't a whole lot that went on that day, so it wasn't a big deal. So we'll talk about what went on, but I won't have any of the actual footage to show you with sound. So my apologies. I am sorry, but I did get day 5 and day 5 was the juiciest day of all. And we'll probably spend the most time on that. So let's get into it. We're going to start with day 2. If you missed day 1, you don't necessarily need to watch it, but I will link it in the description if you want to go and watch it afterwards. So before we get into it, quick little background. If you did not watch day 1 of the 5-day cake challenge, this is a challenge, a 5-day free challenge that was put together by supposedly, but I have my questions and my doubts. Supposedly, it was all put together by Kaelin Poulin, who is the original founder of Lady Boss. Long story short, she sold the company in August, previously acted like it was going out of business and liquidated everything, sold the company in August to Russell Brunson, who is the co-founder of ClickFunnels. He's also in an MLM. He also does a lot of work with MLM coaches or mentors like Jesse Lee and Ray Higdon. So when he bought it, he turned it into an MLM in January of this year, 2023. From the looks of it, in my opinion only, it does not look like the MLM is taking off like Russell had hoped. And so in my opinion, that's why they pulled Kaelin back in to get her face back into Lady Boss. So they launched this 5-day challenge last week, and it was a 5-day basically funnel, and you'll see why exactly that is. Day 1 was drink cake, and today, day 2, which we're going over first in this video, is eat cake, make cake, bake cake. One of those. It's one of those. I think it's eat cake. Pretty sure it's eat cake. But anyway, I will also include timestamps in the description below so that if you want to skip ahead to like whatever day you want to start on, you can go ahead and do that, and we will get on with the show. To save us some time, this intro was all about what today is about. Kaelin explained how she didn't know how to eat cake, so she learned how to eat cake and made her Lady Boss Lean cake flavor into recipes. So this day is all about like eating cake recipes, and I say it that way because day 3 is baking cake. So we're eating cake, but then again, tomorrow we're also eating cake, but we're doing it in a baked goods form, if that makes sense. Okay, it doesn't. But anyway, we're going to go on with day 2 of Eat Cake. Let's talk about it.
So I actually have a special guest with me today, and she literally became a Lady Boss because of the recipes. All right, because of the recipes. And together, we're going to show you some of our favorites and some of the most popular amongst Lady Bosses. So I want you guys to walk out with me, Miss Sasha.
Hi, lady.
Yeah, you guys can bring our table up for us. So, okay, so first I'm going to say this. So Sasha got here this morning. I want you guys to give it up for Sasha because she was like, I'm nervous to do this, but I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. And like, I'm going to do this and I'm scared a little bit. So I want to see the chat fire up for Sasha right now, because if this was you, you'd probably be feeling the same way. So I just want to like welcome you to the stage. We're just going to have a good time. You're a chef.
I am.
This is like, you do this way better than I do.
Okay, so some of you that are subscribed to me, that are following along with all of this Lady Boss drama, have been very much in the Lady Boss community prior to the MLM. With that said, a lot of you know her guests. So if you know who she is, just like any other video, don't search anybody out and message them. That's not very helpful.
So like, this is like your happy place. Here, come up here with me. This is like your happy place, right?
Yep.
You're like, yeah. So if you have your cake right now, grab it. Grab your peanut butter. If you have chocolate chips, grab those. And you're definitely going to want to make this first cookie dough recipe with us. And while you do that, we're going to talk about Sasha a little bit, your testimony, because it's amazing. It's like absolutely incredible. So why don't you just tell everyone, like, what did life look like before Lady Boss for you?
Life was very boring, and it was not very happy with how I felt about myself and how I looked in clothes, and I needed a change in my life. Definitely needed a change.
Well, and you said too, I wouldn't even get ready to go out with friends.
Oh, the getting ready part of it was where it got really upsetting. I didn't know what to wear, didn't feel good in what I was wearing, so I would just decide not to go, and I would stay home and order delivery and end up watching TV all night and putting on more pounds. So
yeah, and you said too, you were like, yeah, I would just get the delivery and I would sit there and I'd burn 0 calories, and it's like almost like the anxiety of like getting ready.
Yep.
Like the like pressure of like getting ready and having to go out like kept you at home.
Yep, and I stayed home quite a bit back then.
Well, what do you do? Do you stay home now?
No, I'm always out. I work my life away. I started my own charcuterie company, so I can just do all that as well. So.
Oh my gosh, your own charcuterie company? You gotta sign me up.
I do grazing
That's
tables.
like my favorite food.
Oh yeah.
Like I would have charcuterie boards for dinner like every night.
It's
like, don't lie, I really would. Like, you could ask, like, Coach Stephanie knows where she is. She knows I'd have charcuterie boards every night for dinner. You have to send me one. So, for you, like, what was the moment that you decided to make the change? It was like, I didn't want to get ready to go out, and I would just stay home, and I would order in delivery, and then there was some moment that must have happened that made you be like, I'm going to do this.
I saw a group picture of me with a bunch of my friends, and I saw my triple chin going on, and it hit me that I've never looked like that before, and I needed to change it. I didn't feel good about myself. So if I couldn't feel good about myself, I couldn't get people around me to feel good about me either. So
I love that. You couldn't get people around you to feel good about you either. Yeah, that's like how it starts, right? It's like, if I'm not confident in me, like, nobody else is going to have that confidence in me either. And it just like, well, it's like, do you have kids?
I do. I have.
This is so frustrating to me. So, first of all, you could tell she is so nervous. She's doing a great job. Secondly, she has a small business. When Kaelin is asking Sasha, this individual who's on stage with her, about her weight loss journey, they're making it sound like it was all Lady Boss Lean. It's a fucking protein shake. Yes. There is a community. I say was because I was recently kicked out and blocked. So it doesn't exist in my memory anymore. So the Lady Boss community does still exist. And this is where everything started. Kaelin had like an app that put out different workouts and different things like that. And it turned into Lady Boss and Lady Boss Lean. All these wellness and health MLMs drive me nuts because they make it sound like it's because of this specific MLM or this specific product, in this case, Lady Boss Lean, that somebody has completely changed their health. That's not the case. Most of these women were working out, were making sure that they were making more nutritious choices. And now what it is now is all based on the protein shake. So people are thinking when they watch this, if they've never heard of Lady Boss before or don't know any better, they will believe that if they replace their breakfast and lunch with a Lady Boss Lean shake, like these people are saying, then their life is going to change. They're going to lose a ton of weight. They're going to have so much more energy. And that's not the case. All of that to say that it's not a miracle protein shake. It's not a miracle shake. It's not going to happen with just this Lady Boss Lean.
I have an 18-year-old.
You have an 18-year-old?
I do.
There ain't no way.
Is
there any way she has an 18-year-old? There is absolutely no way you have an 18.
I'm almost
you look
40.
18. No.
She's 18. She moved to Oregon when she turned 18, and she's a blessing, actually.
That's amazing. That's amazing. How do you feel like your relationship with her has changed since you became a Lady Boss?
Much better. I'm more motivated to do things with her, get out and about. We went hiking and biking. We're trying to do the kayak thing, but she spends more time spinning in circles trying to figure out the thing than actually getting anywhere with it. But
That's like me in a kayak, you guys, like legit. I'm like, which way does this thing turn?
well, they give you 2 hours to get somewhere, but she spins in circles for the 2 hours.
So I think like the really interesting thing and why I wanted to bring you up here today is because you said like in your testimony that the thing that attracted you to like start getting lean, right? Like to actually like get lean and start it was the recipes.
Yep.
And that it wasn't like, you know, all, like I want to work out or I want to like change all my meals. It was legit just like you saw the recipes and you're like, I want to do that.
I did.
What was that like?
I saw the videos and I thought it was really cool that you could cook with the protein powder. So I needed to see all that. So I watched all the videos. And then when I went to go order the protein powder, I decided to bundle up the deal and I got the rest and became part of the community. And the community is where I got hooked on, was the empowerment from the women that were helping out with everything.
Yeah, what's different about the community? What you say like the community was the thing that like, you know, you got hooked on, like, what does that mean? To maybe ladies that have never experienced, like, the Lady Boss community before, because it's, like, the best place on earth, but...
It really is. Inside there, you get a lot of women who are sharing recipes and motivating you to get up and get out of bed, and women empowerment. You don't get that anywhere else, and just wherever all the women get together and pump each other up, it's just empowering to get up there and just want to do it. And it wouldn't be easy to do without the community of the Lady Boss ladies.
Yeah, that's so good. So through this story, and then like you started making recipes.
Let me tell you a little bit about the Lady Boss community. Now, I'm going to be touching on this a little deeper in a later video because I had the pleasure of talking to an actual ex-employee of Lady Boss, and she gave me some clarification on some things. Now, the Lady Boss community is nearly impossible to post a question in. If you have a question, it has to be submitted, and the censorship and screening process of getting your post up in the Lady Boss community can take days, if not weeks. And by the time that your post is up and seen, if it makes it past the screening, you likely don't need the answer to that question anymore. So the Lady Boss community has taken a turn. It is not anything like it used to be. It is very censored in its toxic positivity. There's a lot of toxic positivity in that group. And if you say anything negative, even that you had a stomach ache from Lady Boss Lean, your post won't get approved, or your comment will get deleted. It's very censored in that community, and they're making it out in this challenge to sound like this glorious place of rainbows and butterflies. And the reason they make it sound that way is because they delete any of the things that they don't see as positive. So
with lean, like that was the thing that you're like, I want to do the recipes, those are gonna be awesome. And then tell everybody how much you ended up losing.
50 pounds.
Yeah, girl!
50 pounds. Thank you.
Yes.
It's my second time. I did it the first time, got comfortable after I hit my goal weight, and gained it all back. And then I did it again, and 8 months later, I'm back down again. So
what you're telling me is you were like, I did all the recipes, I like lost 50 pounds eating food that actually tastes good and like make all these snacks. And then you're like, yeah, I got comfortable, and it was like that year that none of us did anything.
Yep. It was COVID.
And then you were like, I'm gonna do this again. And so what did you literally just like started back at square one, just started doing it all over again?
Square one and didn't stop from there, and now I'm back.
Do I need to say anything? 2 words. Not sustainable. You're just proving the point that it's not sustainable. Because anything that's sustainable you're not going to have to do it over again like that.
Other thing that you told me in your story was, I feel like a lot of ladies relate to this, is like, okay, I feel like I can get on board with like drinking my shake and eating my cake and baking my cake, like I can do that. And you said I wasn't good at the working out part, so I just focused on the food part.
I wasn't really good at getting into the gym or knowing how to, so I focused on what she said, just on the eating right, and it worked.
So you're telling me that you just made all these awesome recipes and you ate them and you had your shake and then you lost weight without really focusing on working out?
I did a little cardio and stuff, but yeah.
But you weren't like, I need to be in the gym for an hour a day.
No, that was not me. That was not me. I'm sorry.
That's also not healthy. Like, you need to be moving, and I feel so hypocritical because I have been a lazy blob lately. You need to be moving your body every day. Go for a walk every day. Lift some light weights every day. Something to move your body. We do not need to be promoting losing weight without exercise.
I did like to do some of the live workouts that were in the community though, but
like what's in the Burn It Challenge?
Yep.
Yeah, the 20-day Burn It Challenge. Ooh. Yeah, so for all the VIPs that have access to the VIP after party, you guys can drop your comments or questions as you have them. We're going to be logging them, and those are ones we're going to be answering in the VIP after party together. So as Sasha talks up here, if you think about questions you want to ask me, her, about our weight loss journeys, what we did, what our favorite recipes are maybe, now would be a good time to drop them. We're going to collect those and answer those in the VIP after party. So let's talk about the popcorn. You gonna hold the popcorn for me? You want to shake it?
I can.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So for the popcorn, this is literally like making a healthy kettle corn. I love this one too because it's, how many seconds is this gonna take?
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Oh, 10 seconds. Oh,
5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Either one.
And you're gonna shake it real quick.
Yep.
Okay. Got it.
So they're teaching you how to make all of these things. The protein that you have to buy comes in 3 separate packages, I guess you can say. And they're subscribe and save packages, over $60 for 1 box. And then you can get 2 boxes or 3 boxes. Now, 1 box only has 20 envelopes in it. So you're not going to be able to make all of this stuff and drink a shake unless you basically get the highest package, which is, I think it's over $150 if I remember correctly. And that's for 3 boxes. So you get I can math. So you get 60 packets. So that's the equivalent of 60 shakes for over $150. Ma'am.
As a person that has recently been through this transformation, the ladies that are on day 1 right now, what would you tell them? What's your biggest tip for them?
It's not about what you eat, it's about how you eat it. Adding lean to a lot of your items helps out a lot. You can take your favorite recipes and figure out a way to make it to where it's right where you need it without being extremely carby, but it's not about what you eat, it's about how you eat it.
That was so good. Write that down, you guys. It's not about what you eat, it's how you eat it. That's so good. If lean can't go in it, I don't want it.
I don't know. I figured out a way to put lean in quite a few things.
Like what? What's your favorite recipe?
My meatloaf. I know that sounds I know it sounds really weird because of the sweetness.
Meatloaf?
This
is what I have not heard before. Sorry.
Stick it into the meatloaf and cook it out. It's in there.
We're gonna have to add this to the recipe book for tomorrow. This meatloaf recipe. I love meatloaf.
It's really good too. If you wrap it with a turkey bacon before you put it into the oven, then you have a bacon wrapped meatloaf and it's already in there. You can stuff it with cheese, however you like.
Okay, I already love meatloaf, but now we're talking about bacon wrapped meatloaf. Is there a way that we could put lean into mashed potatoes too?
Yeah, actually, yeah. If you add it to the actual potato and you mix it up, it's depending. When you cook it out, the sweetness will come out of it. But if you add I like to do. I can't believe it's not butter because it's 0 calories. But if you put that all in there and you make it, you can do anything with it.
There's so many wrong. It's like that GIF of David from Schitt's Creek.
Okay. I have never heard someone say so many wrong things, one after the other, consecutively in a row.
You come in with I can't believe it's not butter, and it's just oh my God, just use regular butter. It's so much better for you. And then you're putting protein powder that tastes like birthday cake in meatloaf. And I'm sure there's a method. She's a professional. She's trained. She knows what she's doing. I just don't fully understand it, especially with how much it costs. Maybe just add sugar if you want that sweetness in your meatloaf. Which again, not for me.
If you just made the cookie dough, can I get a phone? We got to do this. You got your phone?
I don't.
No? I need a phone. We got to take our selfie. So as you make this recipe, make sure to take a selfie with your snack that you make. Okay? You're going to use this for something special later. So look, we're going to take our selfie. You take a selfie with me, right? Get your ice cream. Oh, yeah. I'm Chef Sasha. So you're going to take your selfie.
Selfie with my water.
And you're gonna use this for something special later that I'm not gonna tell you yet. But as you make one of these recipes, I know this cookie dough one you can do right now. You've got lean, you got peanut butter. Even if you're like, but Kaelin, I don't have chocolate chips. I'm like, do it without the chocolate chips this time, okay? You don't need the chocolate chips this time. Just do the basic cookie dough. It's freaking amazing. You're gonna absolutely love it. So, Sasha, before you go, what do you say to the ladies who maybe aren't sure, like, this will work for me? I'm not sure this cake challenge will work for me. I'm not sure if like doing this will work for me. What do you say to them?
It will work. I'm a true example of it's worked. I've done it twice and I've lost it really. You just gotta stick to the program and listen to what this lady is saying because she knows what she's talking about.
She's done it twice because she gained the weight back the first time. If a diet program or a specific thing actually works for your weight loss, it has to be sustainable. You have to have some kind of sustainability to it. And this is not sustainable. All right, so that's what we talked about in day 2. I did cut out like the jibber jabber of things that did not really need to be seen and would probably just bore you. So let's move on to day 3. There was no sound in the beginning, so I don't have like the beginning of the whole thing. They did not stop to talk about what Kaelin was saying.
What is amazing about Stacy, who is gonna come up in just a second, is like she has a different type of transformation from using lean, from like drinking cake, from eating cake. She has a totally different transformation. Like she was one that like went through something kind of super traumatic to the point that she like wasn't like living life anymore. And she was one that's like, yeah, like maybe I wasn't overweight like other people. Maybe I wasn't like, I didn't have like, I need to lose 40 pounds. But what she did mentally in her transformation, like what happened to her from the situation that she was in and the story that you're about to hear, it's like, it blew my mind. Cause I'm like, I don't know that if I was in that situation, like I would have been able to get up and go. And she said the Lady Boss mentality and like drinking her shake, like that's what got her going in. That's what got her up and said, you know what? I might not be, what'd you say? She was like, I'm the oldest one in the room, is what she said. She's like, I'm the oldest one in the room. I was like, and she's like, but she found new sense of life just by believing in herself and changing her mentality. So Miss Stacy is gonna come up and join me for our recipes. Yeah, come on up, come on up, come on. Everybody welcome Stacy. This is Stacy.
Hello, Lady Bosses. Hello. Hello.
So you can see them all. You see all their faces right there?
Hello.
See all their faces? Isn't that cool? Yeah, ladies, you can see they're all waving at you. Hi. Okay, you guys, yeah, bring up our table, So we are gonna talk a little bit about Stacy's transformation, and they're gonna bring up our recipes to do together, all of our bakes, and we're gonna just talk through your story, because it's super inspiring for these ladies at the same time. But we got our hands full today because we got the most ingredients we've had up here all week. So we gotta like keep ourselves straight, like and on track. You know what I mean? We gotta focus. So before we get into the bakes and all the brownies, that I'm like, yes, the brownies. I want you to kind of share with everyone that's here with us today, all of these ladies, you have such an inspiring story. I want you to I'm gonna bring you your picture in just a second, but what did your life look like before Lady Boss?
Whew. Okay, try and get through this without crying.
You can cry, it's okay.
So before Lady Boss, I was down, I was sad. I had lost the girl that I grew up to be. I used to be this spunky little girl like this one right here. And because of my life experiences, the trauma that I endured from my car accident and losing my husband and all the different things I went through, I wanted to sleep all the time. I gave up going to the gym. I ate too much bad stuff all the time. And I needed something. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't even sure why. I knew why, but I didn't know how I was gonna get there.
I'm gonna give her her picture now so she can show you guys her, like when she's talking about like before Lady Boss, you guys like, can you look, show it to this camera or this camera right here? Which one?
Which one?
Which one? This one? Yeah, there it is. Look at this. This was Stacy.
Yeah, so this was me. So I was in a really bad car wreck. I broke 3 neck vertebrae. I broke 6 back vertebrae. I broke a thumb, and I completely tore my ACL and my MCL in my right knee. So
at this point right here, what was different about Stacy? Like when you look at this picture, like what was different about you then than now? I didn't tell you I was going to ask you that question.
I know. Between there and now, you see a smile here, because I always smile. Even in the halo, I smiled. But that girl was so defeated. She just felt like, what's left? And now I have...
This is so annoying. Like, this is classic MLM. And they keep bringing up the people with the most vulnerable stories because those are the stories that are going to get people pulled in to sign up for the 28-day challenge, which is another funnel to get them into the MLM, but to also sign up for the MLM because that is where this challenge is going by day 5.
Like, these brownies are so good. And we're like, they're lean brownies. Isn't that amazing?
Right, and
they
the kids
didn't know
love
the difference.
them, and they don't know they're healthy.
So let's see. I want you to tell everyone like the results that you had. So, for me, it was like your goal wasn't necessarily like weight loss as much. And it was just like, I need to get myself up and go. So what was the moment? And I love this story that you told about the, woo, I got this, right?
Okay.
Of how you got like, this is the moment, I'm gonna do Lady Boss. Of all the things that you could have done out there, like you chose this, like what happened? How did you like become a Lady Boss?
Okay, so my best friend, she called me up. Stacy, I know you're on Facebook a lot, but have you seen this ad on Facebook where this, I still have my phone up. So, where there's spunky girls jumping on a trampoline, full of energy, talk about this lean and how you can lose weight and gain yourself back. And I'm like, no, I haven't seen it. She's like, well, you got to check it out because I think you've met your match. She said, yeah, this girl has as much energy as you. And I'm like, no way. I gotta check it out. So I went, found the ad, and I'm like, wow. And I saw Kaelin, and I saw the energy she had. And from what I said before, right after my car accident, I lost that energy. And I lost who I was. And Kaelin was what I needed back in my life. And I just needed to do whatever it took. So I went to Des Moines, which is about an hour away from Creston where I live, and to get my nose done, my nose done, my tail done, my tail done, my nose done, my tail done, and my toes done. Get the whole work.
Your nails and your toes done. She went to the nail salon, okay?
I went to the nail
plastic
salon.
surgeon.
Okay.
You're great. So there you are.
Yes.
You're sitting there. You got your feet. You're on the phone.
I'm on the phone talking about lean with the phone number that was on there. Call this number if you want to change your life.
Yeah.
And so I'm on this, and I'm talking to this guy, and he's like, yeah, you got to try out this lean. It's amazing. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I need something to change my life. And I was all hyped up and full of energy talking to this guy, and this gal's doing my toes, and he says, now, I want you to yell, woo, I got this, as loud as you can. And you all know me anyway, so I go, woo, I got this. And the
Right there in the middle of the nail salon.
Right there in the middle of the nail salon, the little gal, the little Chinese gal, she's sitting on her little thing with my toes, and she about fell over backwards off her chair. Everybody in the salon turned to look, and I'm like, I got this.
Yeah, that was like the first moment of you like being a lady boss. You're like, woo, I got this. Like, no shame in your game.
I just have no words. The privilege that these women have makes me nauseous. And they just let it shine. The little Chinese girl. Like, please don't. Please don't. Oh, I know she probably thinks like it sounds fine, but it just doesn't sound fine.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
So how is Gamma Stacy now different from like the Gamma Stacy that would have been like if you would have stayed like this? How is it different?
My granddaughter looks up to me more than anything. Like, my son says, how does it feel to be your favorite person? My son said that to me, and I don't know as if I would have been her favorite person. She loves being around me, and she loves the confidence. We do everything, because I'm a go-getter, so we'll have, like, painting here, workout here.
I can only imagine. You probably have, like, we're going to paint.
And then we're going to go do
We're going to do pottery. We're going to go to the park.
And then we're going to work out. And then we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And she just loves it. And, I love it, too. Because I know that well, like I said, I know I'm providing the best example possible for her. And it shows in her. She's still not completely healthy. She's still on one medication today. And if her heart doesn't grow with her body, she still may have to have a heart transplant. But that's why it's so important.
So you told me your goal was just like make her realize how important it is to be healthy. You
Right.
know?
Even
like
if
I want to teach her how to make healthy decisions and healthy choices for herself to where she can be the healthiest she can be, like possible, and understand that like the healthier she is, you know.
Right. And go home to dad and tell dad to be healthy.
Yeah, right? Like that's when it starts like bleeding to our husbands, like our, right? Like,
Yep.
hey, yeah. And then but you gotta watch out once you get on, like once they start drinking the lean, they don't go back. I have to warn you guys, they'll be in your stack.
She can't wait. I even have a picture of her with my live hat on, and she just, and when I go live, she wants to be a part of that live so bad. When I did Booty Boot Camp, I think some people might have met her, but she just loves everything about Lady Boss.
Please stop using children to sell your pyramid scheme and to sell bullshit. Just stop. Stop. I did it, and I can't even begin to tell you the amount of guilt that I still feel that I put my 4-year-old son on my social media to try and sell my Scentsy. I feel terrible. And my LuLaRoe shit. It's a bad feeling when you come to terms with what you're actually doing. So that's where we're gonna leave day 3 at. They baked a bunch of stuff. It was already baked. They just showed the ingredients and then talked about her guest story the whole time to, again, in my opinion, lure people in with similar stories or with similar backgrounds or similar struggles that are in vulnerable places so that you can reel them in. So day 4, I suck. I forgot that when you screen record a Zoom call on your phone, the sound does not record. So again, I don't have anything. I have just the video and not the audio. We really didn't miss a whole lot that can't be summarized very quickly. On day 4, she came out and basically encouraged everybody to get in on the 3 for free or whatever it's called. And I covered this in depth in my Lady Boss deep dive. I believe it was in video 2. So again, all of this stuff will be linked in the description of this video. But she encouraged that because when you send people your code, or your link, whatever they have you use now to buy Lady Boss, and they buy it from you, even if you're not a champion, which is what they call their people who sign up for the MLM piece, you will get a free box of Lady Boss Lean for every 3 people that purchase, basically, is what it is in a nutshell. Again, if you want to know more about it, it's in the deep dive linked below. So yeah, it was very heavy on that, very heavy, like pushing it to the max. Like it was annoying. And then the worst thing that happened was the Lady Boss manifesto. And this is the only thing that I'm pissed that I didn't get on video. They have their Lady Boss manifesto, and she had everybody on the call read it out loud together. On the audio, you would have been able to hear her with everybody in the studio, but like people had their cameras on and they were saying it. It was so uncomfortable and so culty, like to the max. Now, day 5 is what I really want to get into. I have my snack and I'm ready to go. I did not watch the whole thing. I watched bits and pieces, and the bits and pieces I saw were annoying because this is the day where they really funneled people into the MLM. So let's get into it.
For over the last 4 days, we've learned how to drink cake, eat cake, bake cake, earn cake, right? And so today, I really want to talk about like make cake. But with that, it's more than just like the shake and these awesome testimonies that people have had and women have had, right? It's this Lady Boss mentality that you have heard over and over and over and over and over again this week that we have to make sure that you leave here with. That even tomorrow, when you wake up tomorrow and tomorrow night there's no cake challenge happening, like how do you stay inspired? How do you believe that you can still do it? So that's what we're gonna hit on a lot today. So before I start, I want all the ladies who have a Lady Boss testimony, of any kind. Like maybe it was lean, maybe it was just your mindset, maybe it was just thinking about yourself differently, maybe it was friendships, whatever it is, I want you to drop it in the comments. Because I know there's a lot of Lady Bosses here. So if you're here and you've had an awesome Lady Boss testimony or transformation or something that changed in your life because of Lady Boss, I want you to drop it in the chat. For all of these ladies here that maybe don't know what it is, or maybe they're just like, I don't know what this Lady Boss thing is, but this cake challenge has been awesome, and this has been so amazing, and now I want to do it, but like, what do I do now, right? Like, where do I go from here? Well, girl, you're gonna go to the Burn It Challenge for sure. You gotta be at the Burn It Challenge. It's gonna be awesome. So I want you to drop that testimony in the comments. And today, I really wanna show all the ladies that think like, you know, maybe I don't feel like there's hope for me, or maybe I don't know if I can do it. And there definitely is. And if the comment section isn't already showing you like that it's for you and that you can have that change, and all these women, when they first got here, right? They didn't think it was possible for them either. And now that's happened for them, and it's possible for you. So drop those comments in there. Today I'm gonna share like the other side of my transformation journey with you, okay? For really like the first time ever in total detail. And I'm talking about like literally when I lost everything. I went from like top of the world, amazing weight loss transformation, all of this greatness like happening in my life where I just felt like, oh my goodness, like I am on top of the world, to literally losing everything down to like the last $200 in my bank account. Like that's the story I wanna share with you today. Because for me, I've never shared it this transparently before, but I think today is like that time. I think, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I really like telling this makes me nervous. I'm already like shaking. I'm sweating in my cat suit up here. But I believe that it's gonna inspire you ladies out there. I believe that if you're stuck right now and you're not sure that you can do this, or you're not sure that you can actually change your situation, if you're not sure you can get past your fears, if, you know, you're not sure that, you know, I can make that decision for myself, I'm not sure that I can like move forward from here, I'm not sure how to get up off the couch, and you feel like maybe you're at rock bottom, like I'm gonna share my rock bottom story with you ladies today. Is that okay? Is that cool with you? I can share my rock bottom story? Because I know as women, sometimes we put on like this face and this mask, this facade, and like we're trying to handle it all, we're trying to do it all, and like we feel like we're drowning, and then, you know, all of a sudden like our phone rings and we're like, hello? Hi. Like, how you doing? Oh, I'm great. Everything's great. We're fine. I'm fine. Everything's perfect, right? And we do that a lot. And so I just hope that sharing this story with you today about something that's a real hard, honest truth about me and my story and how we got here, like to this cake challenge today, I think it'll be inspirational for you to see, okay, well, if Kaelin went through that and she made the decision to change her situation, like I can make the decision to change my situation. Is that cool with you ladies? Yes? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I need some support though, you guys. I need some support. Can you ladies give me some, woo, you got this. I want to see some, woo, you got this in the comments. That's like my new favorite line. I'm gonna like coin it now. Stacey, it's now mine. I'm like stealing it from you. Woo, I got this is now my thing. Woo, I got this. So back in the day when this is probably like 12 years ago, I was full-time in college. I was at this super like hard, difficult liberal arts school. I was writing 40-page papers weekly, was like normal for one class. Like 20 to 40 pages every week. I was taking, this is like the college where you walk in and you're supposed to have an exam that day, and that you walk in and there's nothing but a stack. Every exam I ever took at this college, there was never a sheet of paper. There was never like a quiz. You'd walk in and there's a blank blue book, like notebook, sitting on the table. And they would have one question written on the board, and you would sit there for 4 hours and you would answer that question with everything you knew about it. Like that, it was hard. This school is like 40 grand a year to go to, you know, and all this, like, it was such a great opportunity because I worked really hard in high school to be able to get into a good college. Like my family didn't have money like that to send me somewhere or get me in somewhere. So I worked really hard in high school to be able to do that. And you'll see like kind of at the apex of this story where it all starts to spiral out of control, why this is important. But that school was like 40 grand a year to go to. And this like student loan debt that I had was like starting to really rack up, right? And so, you know, people that I knew that had graduated had now started like moving back in there with their parents. And that freaked me out. Mom, if you're watching, I love you. But like, I wanted to be my own independent woman, right? And it just freaks me out. I'm like, I don't want that to be me. Like, I've worked all this time and all like so hard through all these years to be able to have opportunity. I don't want to be the one that's like moving back in. And so I was calculating, right? I was like calculating. I'm not good at math. I'm not the best, but I was like, Googling like, student loan interest calculator, kind of deal, and putting my stuff. And I was calculating how long it would take me to actually like pay it off, right? Like plus the interest over time, and totally freaked me out. My stomach was like literally in my throat. And I thought I was going to be sick. Like if you guys have student loan debt or like any type of debt and you're like, man, by the time I'm actually paying on this, then it's like, I'm just like paying more on this and I'm never ever out chase it, right? How many of you ever felt this way? We're like, I'm never gonna out chase it. And so maybe it's not student loans for you, but it's like credit card debt, or maybe it's house payment or whatever it is. But that was like the place that I was in where all of a sudden I was like real life adult, and I was like, man, I have to do something about this. And so then you remember when you're like a little kid and you would want to buy something at the store and you would be like, oh, I really want that toy, or like, oh, I really want that book, or I want that movie. And maybe your parents, if they were like mine, they were like, okay, then get your like butt out in the backyard and pull some weeds to earn some money, right? Like nobody was ever given to me. They're like, go mow the grass. They used to mow the grass for 6 to 9 hours every Sunday. We lived on a 200-acre farm. I lived in the middle of nowhere. With 200, I graduated my entire high school and middle school. I had like 230 people. The middle school was downstairs. The high school was upstairs. I graduated like 30 kids. Like, there was no one there, all right? So I just want to preface that. And so, they'd be like, get on the backyard and pull some weeds then if you want to buy that, if you want to get that, if you want to go to the movies. Like, you have to go earn that money, go cut the grass, right? And so you'd almost like pop up this little lemonade stand, you know what I mean? Like, for those of you who live in suburbs, I always dreamed of having a lemonade stand, but I lived on a 200-acre farm, so there's going to be nobody like stopping at mine, right? So mine was pulling weeds. But you like pop up this little lemonade stand outside when you wanted to buy that toy or have that thing, and you like sell lemonade, right? To like be able to go buy the thing that you wanted, or you pull weeds, right? Or maybe you would babysit, right? You babysit somebody's kid, or just to like make some money for that toy that you wanted, or that movie, or like to go on a trip with your friends, or to go on to an overnight, or like a summer camp, right? My parents made me earn all of that. And so basically I had that thought, like I need to figure out something to like make that money. And in this story, you guys are gonna like freak out when you hear like how quickly this happens. But I need to figure out something that, I can pay down the student loan debt, right? So I don't get out of college and then get buried by it. How many of you like graduated college and you're like, oh my gosh, like why did no one tell me, right? And because I was full-time in school at the time, it was super, super hard school. Like college, like my college is one of the only undergrads in the nation that you still have to do a verbal like exit test. Like you legit have to do a verbal exit, meaning, and if you're gonna graduate the school, you have to show up to a panel of all of your professors that have taught you. And you have to stand there and they ask you questions and you have to answer them verbally, not even like think about it. You have to have a conversation verbally that you know what you're talking about for you to be able to graduate this school, like super hard school. And so for me, I was like, I don't have time to do anything else, right? And I definitely can't leave the school. Like, it's not the have fun type of school, And people couldn't even live off campus because you wouldn't be able to survive. So to be like, I'm going to go get like this job, or I'm going to go work at the pizza place, or I'm going to go, whatever. It wasn't a possibility. And I like couldn't even take that 20 minutes to drive to work. And, just to circle back, like at the same time that this was happening, I was also like in that state of being like, okay, I want to change my health. I want to change my weight loss. And so it felt like I was trying to do everything at once, if that makes sense. I was trying to like figure out all my problems at one time. And so I started trying to get healthy too at that same time. I just want to like piece it together on the timeline for you of like where I'm at in life before like everything was south and then it goes north and then it goes south. But I literally had no time to do anything. And so just a side note, like if I could drink my shake a day, all right, I'm telling you, you can too. I just put my shake and I put it in a red Solo cup because, of course, like I was in college, right? So I put it in a red Solo cup and I literally walked to class drinking it. And that was like what I did to get healthy at the time because that's what I could commit to. And so that's why it like worked so well for me because I was so busy. And so I couldn't work and I decided I had to do something else. Like, what is the lemonade stand? What's the thing I can pop up like in my front yard to start like paying down this student loan debt? And, after my dad passed away, I got accepted to the school and my family didn't have money. Like my parents literally like they literally ate Spam and like, you know those little like canned, like hot dog little sausage things? Like that's what they ate. And so me and my sister, we didn't grow up like poor, but we were just like lower middle class. Like I had nights of Spam like every week. Like I look forward to Spam. Like I thought it was a treat back in the day. Like I thought like Spam night was like the night, you know what I mean? And later I found out like, oh, Spam night is not the night, you know? You're like, you don't want to be having Spam night. I didn't know that. And so, you know, if we did go out to eat, it was like Fazoli's. How many of you guys, do you remember Fazoli's? I don't even know if they're still around anymore. It was like this little cheap Italian place where it cost you like $10 a meal, but there was actually like sit down chairs that weren't like booths like at McDonald's. And so like going out to do that, like that was fancy to us. And that was like a special treat. And so we'd go to Fazoli's like once a month. And it was like $10. And they took us there because it's unlimited breadsticks. You guys can see probably where the problem was coming in. But those unlimited breadsticks, man, I would take like a whole to-go box home with me, you know? So with all this, it's like after my dad died, my mom was working full time, an hour away from home, and she would drive an hour to work all day, and then she'd drive an hour back home, and she was like buried in all this medical debt, right? From all the hospital bills and all this stuff. And, you know, she also had a brain aneurysm a couple years before. So there's just like so much medical debt. And my mom knew a friend who had a t-shirt company, okay? And this is pretty funny. My mom knew a friend who had a t-shirt company. My mom's not an entrepreneur by like any means, right? She had worked at the same job for like 30 years. And so she was like, I just have I need the lemonade stand. And so my mom, she goes to this person's like, hey, like, can you make me a bunch of basketball t-shirts? And so she'd go and pop up a tent at my basketball games and sell t-shirts. And so that was like her little lemonade stand, right? To be able to pay, to cover the bills. And so my sister and I didn't have to quit playing the sports. She literally used that money to afford me playing AAU basketball. That then like sent me on to college, and I ended up playing softball in college instead. And so I didn't have to say no to be accepted to one of the best liberal arts schools in the country. After I worked my butt off, because like my mom had the lemonade stand, right? And so I started thinking of like, what's my lemonade stand? What's my thing? Like, do I sell t-shirts at the basketball games? Like, am I allowed to do that in college? Like, I don't know. They got a store, but what if I set it up like outside on like the public street? Like, just do that. I know how to do that. I helped my mom do that, right? And I've been dating this guy since I was a senior in high school, and we had been together for like several years now. This is probably like my junior year of college. And we had been together several years, and literally he took me to my senior prom. And he went to the same college as me. And we knew we were going to get married. And like, you see how like the debt thing is real now? I'm like, I'm not going to marry you because I'm not marrying your student loan debt. You know what I mean? It's a real problem now. Both of us have this going on. And so we knew we were going to get married, but we were like, we got to do something, right? And I was terrified of people. Like, I wouldn't even ask for ketchup at McDonald's. You can ask my mom this right now. She's like, I have no idea how you came to like do the thing you do now, because you were the kid who would like get the cheeseburger, the Happy Meal at McDonald's. And I'm talking like, you guys, till I was like 15 years old. I would like literally be like, I need ketchup with my fries. And I would be like, will you go get the ketchup? And my mom would be like, no, you go ask for the ketchup. And so I would eat my whole meal without ketchup because I was afraid if I went to the McDonald's counter and asked like, hey, may I have some ketchup? It was before the pumps were like out here. I'm dating myself. It was before the pumps. And she was like, no, you go ask for it. So I would literally be like, I can't, because I'm afraid that if I go up to the counter and say, hey, can I have some ketchup? That they'll say no. Like, since when is anybody at McDonald's gonna say no for free ketchup? Like, it's free ketchup back in the day. It's not like Chick-fil-A when you gotta like pay for all the stuff now, you know? It was free ketchup. But I was so afraid to even ask for like the free ketchup that I would eat my whole meal without any ketchup on my fries. Like, who eats French fries without ketchup? Nobody, right? And so it was like literally not me. So I was like, okay, like I get at the lemonade stand, like my mom did the t-shirt thing, but like every person I knew that like was doing something, I'm like, they like to talk to people. That wasn't me at all. Like, I was not the Kaelin that I am now. Like, I did not like to talk to people. And I was like literally, people would ask me a question, I'd be like, yeah. Like, I'd be like the wallflower, like, what is this person talking to me, right? And so the guy that I was dating, or at the time, like, he was more afraid of talking to people than me. I'm like, we can't be selling t-shirts. People come up and be like, okay, how much is this t-shirt? And I'd be like, I don't know, I don't want to sell it to you. You know what I mean? Like that was me. And, you know, I was like, okay, no to talking to people. I don't want to talk to people. And so it's got to be something I can do online. right? It's not gonna be a t-shirt booth or selling stuff to people. It's not gonna be Girl Scout cookies because I gotta knock on people's door. Like, I can't even do that. Like, that's why I never did Girl Scouts. I always pretended like I didn't want to, but I never did Girl Scouts because I was afraid to ask people if they wanted to buy cookies. And who says no to Girl Scouts? No one, because you can't, or you're heartless, right? And I was afraid to do that. And so nowadays, when I see the Girl Scouts, I literally just give them $20 and then like run away and don't even take the cookies. I'm just like, I can't say no to you, take my money, and then I just run. But, you know, I have to be able to do it without asking for the ketchup, because if I won't ask for ketchup, I'm definitely not gonna tell people like, hey, I'm gonna give you this shirt, like it's this much money. Like, I'm not gonna do that. And so that's when I like started my first business when I was 21. All right. Didn't talk to people on the phone. I just did the edges of my time. So I didn't have to commit a lot of hours in a day or even a week, and basically like started my own little lemonade stand. And this is where things started to get cool. Like that little lemonade stand, like it started making a couple $100 a month, right? And that couple $100 like literally changed my life. Like, I didn't need to make a lot. I was like, I literally just want to cover like my student loan payment. So when I get out of school, like I've already been working towards that. That's all I wanted to do with this little like lemonade stand. And so fast forward a year, that little lemonade stand that I had started like for my dorm room, like for a couple hours, like it really started to take off. That like my little lemonade stand was bringing in like a couple $1,000s a month at that time now. And I was like, whoa, like I felt like freaking Steve Jobs, you guys. You know what I'm talking about? He's like started this company in his garage and like blew it up. And it definitely was not that. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't Steve Jobs, but I felt like it. Like, I felt like I was, like, running my little business from my dorm room. Like, I'm a little lemonade stand. And I just felt like I was, like, on top of the world. Like, oh, now I'm, like, you know, okay, paying this down, paying off this card, paying these. So I literally felt like I was, like, yes, this is amazing. And, you know, my mom was working, like, lemonade stand, too, now. And it was, like, that steady income for her every month, just doing the edges at a time. And so she was doing it like with me, right? And like, cause as it got bigger, it was like, oh, like you gotta do it with me. And so right when I was about to graduate, this part's so funny. I literally go to my professor who used to be the CMO at Heinz Ketchup. So I guess this whole ketchup thing of being afraid of ketchup like comes full circle right here. But I literally went and told him like, hey, like that $60,000 a year job that was offered from Frito-Lay, I'm like, I think I'm gonna keep my little lemonade stand instead. Like, do you know how crazy he thought I was? He thought I was crazy. But I was like, man, I only do this in the edges of my time. Like, this is awesome. And so fast forward another year, that little lemonade stand, it starts doing 6 figures now, right? And me and the guy that I was dating were now engaged, all right?
We still haven't heard what the little lemonade stand is. And I'm pretty sure it was an MLM.
We had just moved out of our apartment. This is like the heartbreaking part, you guys. It's the hard part. But we had just moved out of our apartment and got a house together, okay? We had literally just a couple months before this, like put, you know, whatever it was, a couple $1,000s down to book this wedding venue. And this wedding venue, it's known in Southern Indiana. It's like the most gorgeous place. It's an old movie theater. Like things like the old school movie theaters that have like the stage and like the velvet curtains. And it's got the little upper balcony. Cause like in the Midwest, everyone has like 500 people weddings, you know? And we had just booked this venue for our wedding, and like that I never would have been able to afford, okay? And I could not believe that the little lemonade stand for my dorm room was really like paid off for my student loan debt, was like paying our bills, our groceries, but now it's like we were able to do something that we never would have been able to do, or our families would have never been able to help us like afford. And you know, my mom had been working that lemonade stand for like 2.5 years now too, and she had paid off $80,000 of her debt. Like, is that not insane? I'm talking about like the lemonade stand, right? It's like literally unbelievable. And health-wise, like I just lost 65 pounds. So I'm like on top of the world, you guys. Like I felt like I was just, this is like it doesn't get better than this. And it didn't. Like it literally doesn't. It doesn't. And so this is usually a part of the story where like all the crap hits the fan, right? Like right when you think like, oh, it's all amazing, and all of a sudden life's like, boom, you know what I mean? Well, if that's what you're thinking right now, you would be correct. That is exactly what happens now. That's exactly what happens. And so my life, it literally got turned upside down overnight. Like the guy that I was supposed to marry in 3 months, we were supposed to get married. That guy ran off with a girl from Instagram that he'd been secretly talking to. And he told me he was going to like a meeting, like conference thing, right? For like his job that he had that he was like pursuing. And I booked the flight, I booked the hotel, I booked everything. And somebody sent me on Instagram a screenshot of the two of them kissing from her Instagram. Like, I was blocked, obviously. I don't even know this person exists. I have no idea. I think he's going there for a business thing, right? And so somebody sends me a screenshot of them kissing from her Instagram because she followed both of us and said, "Isn't this your fiance?" And that's how I found out. And we have been together for like 6 years at this point, almost 7. And he got home. You guys, you can imagine me. Back in the day, I wasn't so like, I'm more chill now. Back in the day when I was a heathen, I would like fight people for no reason. I'd be like, "Oh, you want to fight? Let's fight." You can probably see that, right? You can probably see that a little bit. So he got home and I literally like threw the ring back to him and I left. I was out of there. Peace out. Like, I'm gone. Like, I'm done. Like, we ain't married yet. I still, like, I got time. I don't have to, like, we don't have to make this up. We ain't married. I'm done. And so I went back to our old apartment, you guys. That literally was about to be turned for the next renter. So we had moved out of that apartment before the lease was up. So there's nothing there, right? But it was about to be turned for the next renter. So I was like, I'll just go there and basically squat there. There was nothing there. No bed, no chair, no skillet, no TV, no anything, like completely empty. Like, it's move-in day. There's nothing there, okay? And so I squatted there. And the business that we had built, our little lemonade stand, right? It was under his social security number because we weren't married yet. You guys see where I'm going with this? And all the money that we had made from the little lemonade stand was in his account. And I had $200 on an old bank card that like my mom had given me when I was a teenager to have in case of emergency. I had $200 on that card. And that was it. So I literally took my butt to Walmart and I bought the cheapest blow-up mattress I could. I bought a skillet and I bought egg whites. And that was it. And I went and squatted in this apartment and I was there and I literally had nothing. Like, that was it. In my like clothes, right? And so I was living off egg whites like 3 times a day. Like, if you're gonna live off something, I'll tell you egg whites aren't that bad. It's not that bad. It's hard to eat now, I think. Maybe it's the emotional trauma of the egg whites, but it's not that bad. So if you're gonna have something, go with egg whites. But I kept asking for my money. Like, I kept asking, like, hey, like, I need to have some things. Like, I can't really get anything. I was afraid to, like, I'd already spent like $40 on a blow-up mattress and like $15 on a skillet and like, $20 on some cartons of egg whites. And I was like, yeah, well, I'm gonna have to get some of what's mine, right? And he kept telling me like, "Oh, if you come home, you can have it. You go home, you can have it." But guess what? I'd already developed like this lady boss mentality that we've been talking about, right? Like this, like, no, I can do anything, right? And I'm confident in myself, and I love myself. And so I had this mentality on, and I was like, no, that's okay. No, like, I'm gonna build it back bigger and better, and I'm gonna do this on my own, and I'm gonna start from zero, and I'm gonna do it all again. No joke. So I had nothing to my name, but for some reason, this mentality right here, this is what saved me. This is what saved me. Like, having this lady boss mentality, protecting that mentality, saved me. Because if I hadn't have thought that way, like, I could be married to that guy right now. Like, I could have went back because I was like, I don't see a path for me forward without having this over here. And I wouldn't have stood confidently in myself and be like, you know what? I can do this. I can do this for me. I can build my own lemonade stand again. I can do this again. I can do it myself, right? And so I did. I started that little lemonade stand again. I built that thing back to 6 figures in less than a year. And I was like, woo, like, you guys imagine, like, after you go through something like that, and you get left with nothing to, like, go do it again yourself and, like, build it back to, like, what it was when we were together and be like, I'm on top. Like, that really, like, on top of the world was, like, the first time. But, like, really above that, like, in the clouds was the next time. Because I was like, yes, like, I did that. And, that's kind of how the inception of Lady Boss was created. Like, it went on to, after I built that lemonade stand back, like, I decided, okay, I want to go help women just like me. And so it was like the inception of Lady Boss. Like, if I wouldn't have got up that day and said, I'm going to go do this again, like, Lady Boss would have never been created. Like, I would never be standing up here. You wouldn't be in this chat right now. Like, it would never have been done. So when I was, like, at the hard place, at the rock bottom of, like, everything in my life was gone. Like, no money, no relationship, like everything that I'd been moving towards for this long was poof, overnight, gone. And it wasn't even something that was like in my control. It was someone else that did it, right? And so if you feel like you're at rock bottom right now, if you feel like you've been knocked down, like I'm here to tell you that you can get back up, that you can change your situation. Like if it's you right now that's saying, oh my gosh, you know, I've been through this hard thing. Like right now it feels like the sky is falling, or right now I feel like I'm drowning, right? Or you're at that point where like you have your stomach in your throat because like, I don't know how I'm gonna figure this out. I don't know how I'm gonna provide for this. Like if that's you, I'm just here to tell you, like all you have to do is decide that you're gonna do it, right? All you have to do is say, you know what? Put my lady boss mentality on. Like I can do this. That's it. That's all you need to do. And you gotta just keep saying that over and over and over and over again every day. So as someone who's been through this, like as someone who's like felt what that's like, and I can tell you that's one story I have about rock bottom, but there's plenty, okay? There was a lot of bottoms for me, you know? A lot of bottoms, you guys get it? Haha. But there's a lot.
That was a long story and a sad one. It's not something I wish on somebody that they have to go through that. I don't like the way that this story is being utilized to funnel people into the MLM like they are going to be doing for the entirety of this day 5 of the 5-day cake challenge. Yeah, her story, yes, is sad. I said that before, but it doesn't give you the right to take advantage of vulnerable people who may be in a similar situation and pull them into an MLM where 99% of people lose money. It just doesn't add up. Like, stop doing this bull. Stop it.
The bottoms. And so if that's you right now, I just want you to know, like, you don't have to, like, it's your choice to stay there. It's your choice to say, I'm going to let this situation be in control of me, or you can decide I'm going to be in control of this situation. And so I got up that day and then boom. And then I think it was like maybe a year and a half later, bam, Lady Boss happened.
Ma'am! I've addressed this before in a Scentsy video when a Scentsy hun decided to say that being poor is a choice. Being homeless is a choice. Sometimes things like this are not our choice. Sometimes people have no choice. Like that's a fact. And just because Kaelin was lucky enough to have that quote unquote lady boss mentality and get a way out of it and find her way out of it, some people don't have that privilege. And I think a lot of people in these MLMs who view being poor as a choice have been privileged their whole life in some way. Like, I'm not saying that they haven't gone through hard times, but they've been privileged to maybe have the skills they needed at the time that they were in demand to make money on those skills. Or they have a family that is very generous and very helpful, and they help them out of certain situations. There are many factors that go into it, and it's not always a choice.
That's like one decision you can make today. What is that first little step that you can take to change that situation? All right? Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm like looking at the comments. So good. Self-dignity and self-integrity for you. Go you, lady. You are awesome. Yay. Ketchup takes away from amazing for the fried taste. So good. So the funny part about this little lemonade stand that I had, though, that I just started making a couple $100, right, to pay my student loan debt. The one that I did like on the edges of my time, that little lemonade stand, it was my very first home-based business. My very first. So I know the stigma, like I've heard it all, but none of the things people told me about it or warned me about it, like were true. In my experience, none of them were true. Actually, the exact opposites. And so like the matter of fact people that would tell me like, don't do it, don't do it. And I didn't listen to them because I knew what I was experiencing was real. I knew that it changed me. Like I knew I had a different mindset about myself. I knew that the paying of a student loan debt every single month, like I knew it was real. And so I didn't care, right? So I paid off the student loans. My mom paid off all of her debt. I lost 65 pounds. My mom lost like 35 pounds. My grandma lost 30 pounds, right? Like you can't tell me that it's not real, or you can't tell me it doesn't work, right? Like you can't tell me that. And so for those of you ladies who are like, man, I get it. Like, I understand. I just want to continue to inspire you. Like, I just want to share my story with you, but I have someone else whose story is super inspirational. We're talking about lemonade stands here, right? Like our little lemonade stands. And I'm going to bring up Molly, who I just heard this morning for the very first time. And she was talking about her mom's lemonade stand, right? You're talking about your mom's lemonade stand. So everybody welcome Molly. We're all going to cry.
So is lemonade stand the new code word for multi-level marketing company? Because what the
So Molly's gonna make us all cry. She told me this morning when I was sitting in here before we were in our cat suits and your beautiful.
I forgot my cat suit. Dang it! Next time.
I know. We were like, we should have matching cat suits. I was like, I feel like all of us need a cat suit.
Okay.
Like different colors. Would be like Power Rangers.
Yes. Let's
So
do
this
it.
morning you were telling me when I was telling you my story. We were kind of sharing. You were like, oh yeah, my mom kind of went through this exact thing, and your story is like. Everybody was like, don't say it, Molly, because you're gonna make everybody cry. But I just want to show you, like in real life, what having your little lemonade stand, like what that looks like and what it does. So I want you to share like your mom, like when you were little, what your mom did.
Okay. It's wild because when I start to tell my lemonade stand story of what I think is my actual current story, I actually forgot about my mom doing this until recently, and it makes me want to cry, and I'm going to try not to cry. But
It's okay to cry. It's okay if she cries, right?
I'm a crier. Lady Boss makes you
have
cry.
criers with you. It's fine.
I know. Thank you. So I am one of 9 kids. I'm lucky number 7. And our dad basically left when I was like 7 years old. So my mom raised 9 kids by herself.
Your mom is a freaking lady boss.
I know.
She is like
she's
the lady boss.
She's amazing.
I'm gonna give her the title.
And we lived in Southern California, like it's expensive to live there, right? Lived down the street from Disneyland, but I never got to go. I saw the fireworks from my house, but I never got to go. And but our mom worked her booty off to provide for us. And recently, I realized I know that she's hardworking. Kevin, my husband and I, we call her a hustler. We're like, you have worked so hard all your life to provide for us and always helping other people. And I realized recently that she actually had a lemonade stand herself, her own home-based business. When I was young, she couldn't do something. There was nothing like this available.
Right.
And she realized if she was going to be able to spend time with all of us kids, she would have to do something on the weekends. So she had a business called Carnival Capers. And my mom would get dressed up as a clown on the weekends. I'm not joking. And she recruited me and my 3 brothers, my older brother and my 2 younger brothers. There's like 9 of us, so it's like 5 older, 4 younger. Anyway, and no joke, we would hop in the wood-paneled station wagon. I know. Yeah, the one that, yeah. And we would go and attend these parties for kids, and my mom would entertain kids and lead games and all this, and she did this so she could put food on the table. And she was tired, but she did this, and she thought of ways to provide for us. And it was just so, I mean, as a kid, I was like, I actually was just like, wow, what an amazing woman. And now I look back and think, what, like really?
Like my mom dressed up as a clown.
My mom dressed up as a clown, and she couldn't afford to put on parties for us, but she went and gave parties for other kids so that she could put, you know, Vienna sausages on our table or bologna. Like, I'm not joking you, and I'm so grateful for it. And sorry.
No, you're good.
That is a literal business where you are providing a service and not recruiting people. So the difference between her mom's actual business, where she was doing what she had to do to provide for her kids, is way different than this lemonade stand or network marketing opportunity, where most people lose money and put their family in more debt and put more stress on their family, on their spouse, on their kids, on whoever is helping them out of that hole.
Know that I always tell my mom this, Mom, if this a lemonade stand, a home-based business was available to you, then you would crush it, and you could have done it. She could have fit it in the nooks and crannies of her day. You know what I mean?
Without having to like put clown makeup on.
Well, with 9 kids, yeah, without having clown makeup. So I am just so thankful that as a daughter of someone like that, I got to see how hard she worked, and I knew that when this opportunity came to me, when a home-based business, when my own lemonade stand came to me, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this because I want to stay home with my kids. I want to be an example to them like my mom was to me.
That's amazing. Give up for Molly. And then I'm gonna ask you another question. Here. You told me like, I was like, well, what made you want to have your own lemonade stand? And you're like, you tell them.
Oh, thank you. I love you. Okay, so I was a stay-at-home mom for my kids, and we kind of had our kids a little bit early, like young. And my husband and I decided that whatever it took, I would stay home with my kids, like our kids. And that was just a commitment we made. And we look back now and think, how do we survive? Because we made no money, you know? And this is right after I had gained 65 pounds with both kids. And I'd lost myself big time. The Jolly Molly you see now is not how I was back then. And I had lost weight and I had found myself again, and it was awesome. And so a friend of mine, told me, you should do what I do. You should do this too. And I was like, me? I can't do that. I don't have what it takes. But I like your life. I want to be like you. And I want to provide for my kids. And I don't want to struggle like my mom did. And anyway, so I decided I'll do this. I'll have my lemonade stand. I'll have my home.
And your daughter wanted to do something, right? There's
yes,
something your daughter wanted to do.
And I thought to myself, why should I do this? And my daughter wanted to dance. And I never got a dance because we didn't have any money. And my daughter wanted to dance. And I remember it was $75 a month for her to dance at this dance studio. And I said, okay, I'm going to say yes because I want to pay for Kaylee's dance lessons. Like, that would be amazing if I could do that. And I'll never forget my first, paycheck. I was like, I paid for her dance lessons, doing something that I'm naturally doing. I'm sharing. I'm literally helping women.
Also, tell us, how long did it take you to get that $75 paycheck? How many months was that?
And I also remember building my lemonade stand, watching her dance, like in my car, in the nooks and crannies of my day. And while she did that, I was being able to give that to her. And it's one of the best decisions ever.
Who the wants to work in their car in the nooks and crannies of your day? Especially when you're a stay-at-home mom. Like, I am a stay-at-home mom. I have a 12-year-old and I have a 5-year-old. My 5-year-old is home with me all day. You cannot fit a business like an MLM into the nooks and crannies of your day as a stay-at-home mom and stay completely sane and happy and make money. It's not going to happen. You have to neglect your kids because of all of the hours that you end up having to put in to make money in a network marketing business. It's a fact. It's per the FTC.
And so if you can send an Amazon link to your friend who's asking you about the product that got rid of your mosquito problem, right? If you can send a link to Amazon to the mosquito basket because your friend's got a mosquito problem, then you, my friend, you are qualified to be a Lady Boss champion, because that's all we do. Not mosquito baskets, though. You know what I mean? So it's like, all you do when they ask you, you send them a link to watch the video, and that's it. And once they start, the entire digital automation system takes them through Lady Boss journey, like without you bugging them, without you having to talk to them, without you having to invite them over for a home party.
There it is. You don't have to sell. You just have to share the video, and it all will happen for you.
Party, any of that stuff. Like, you don't have to explain anything to them or sell anything to them ever. Like, that's the goal. So you have to explain the mosquito basket and sell a friend on why you love it more than you'll ever have to explain them what the cake challenge is. Period. It's all done for you. And so, this isn't for everyone, and there's no pressure here. And I'm going to skip back to like the rest of the cake challenge in a second. But, if you're like me and you have that thing that you're like, oh, like, I would love to just not be stressed about this anymore. I'd love to like start doing this, or I want to like maybe have my own lemonade stand to send my daughter to be able to send my daughter to dance practice, dance lessons. It's like, or you just want to buy groceries and not have to put food back at the checkout like I used to have to do. I remember swiping my debit card at the checkout with food, and like the debit card wouldn't go through. And I had to literally stand there embarrassed by like all the people behind me in line at Walmart, like having to put food back and tell them like, oh, I don't need this, or can you take this back? You know what I mean? Like, the most embarrassing moment of my life, I think. And so if you just want to be able to buy groceries without having to do that, or you want to buy your kids new shoes or clothes that they need, right? Or you want to be able to afford the sports they want to play, or you want to cover your car payment, or maybe it's just like,
you're saying no to your kids when you're spending the money to join an MLM, because you have to spend money to start your MLM business. And a business opportunity shouldn't be costing you money. It shouldn't. Like, you should, if it's a true business opportunity or a true job position, it should not be costing you money like that. If it's $99 to join the MLM, you could take that $99 and put it toward groceries for that week instead of blowing it on an MLM join fee or starter kit, whatever it is, or the yearly annual fee that you have to pay, and put that towards something that you know is going to nourish your kids.
You know? So it's not like I had this like all these friends that wanted to get healthy. I didn't have any of that. And so I didn't know anyone besides any of that either. Like all I did was share my own challenge. And when people asked me about it, like I literally just posted my progress. When people asked me about it, I sent them a link. That was it. And so listen, like everyone has heard of home-based business. Like it's not like a new thing. This is a new thing. Like none of them ever have ever created this type of home-based business that is so hands-off that it never asks you to post a link. Like never ever, if I see you post a link, I'm coming for you. Got eyeballs, I'm coming for you. Like never ever. I don't want you doing that. And so like the free challenge, it does all the heavy lifting for you. Like it does everything for you.
This goes in line with what Awakened does. And the reason she doesn't want people posting links is not because it looks spammy. It's because they want people to message them. They want that to be like the setup, if you will, for people to message them and be like, hey, what is this thing? Can you send me the link? And that opens up the conversation for them to hound you about buying stuff and joining.
Automation does all the reminding for you. Literally runs week to week without you touching it. Like if literally like you did nothing, like the challenge runs without you. The 28-day challenge runs without you, right? Like you don't have to do that. And so it literally runs week to week. And you never have to sell anybody anything ever. Because, I mean, I still won't go ask for ketchup. Like, legit, if something's wrong with my food, I won't even tell them because like, they can't say no to me, but I'm afraid of the confrontation. I hate it. And so I won't do it. And so that's me, right? And this worked for me, even though that's who I am. And I'm a little girl who won't ask for ketchup. But like, how did this little lemonade stand become so successful when I can't ask for ketchup? It's because I never had to sell anything, right? So that's what I'm trying to tell you ladies today. Like you can do this without having to do home parties or phone calls. Like you don't have to do anything. It's already like, it's never been done before that you could be this hands off from it. And this system runs without you. You literally send a link to the free cake challenge when a friend asks you about it and boom, like it's never been done, ever.
It's never been done before. Literally almost every MLM out there right now is now adopting this style of marketing. This is done every day.
Now, I want to ask you guys a question real quick, and I'm going to have you think on it because I don't care either way. It doesn't matter to me, right? So you're either number one, you're a challenger, and you just want to focus on your health goal and join us for the 28-day Burn It Challenge, earn your free t-shirt. You're like, hey, Kaelin, I get it. That's so awesome. And I like want to focus on my health journey. That's what I want to do. And like this is you. A number one, you're a challenger, okay? And so a number two, here we go. Maintain it. So if you're a challenger, this is what your next step is. Make sure that you're on the kit that's right for your goal, right? Maintain is a shake for breakfast or for post-workout most days. Then you have the Tone It kit, which is if you're someone who's wanting to lean down and tone up, you have a shake for breakfast or post-workout every day, like plus a few snacks. And then if you want to lose weight, you'll be on the Lose It kit, which is a shake for breakfast every day and plus a snack or a bake every day that you can do, or you can do 2 shakes a day, like on the busy days. I used to do 2 a day on like my crazy college days. So that is a kit for you. So make sure to pick the kit that you want to be on, get on subscribe and save, and you'll get access to the Burn It Challenge and be able to earn your free t-shirt, right?
Okay, that's what I was mentioning before, if you remember, where you can get 1 box, 2 box, or 3 boxes. They just don't show the price here because it's fucking outrageous.
I'm just excited to hear from you because she's one of my favorite people on the planet. She's also my mother-in-law, so that's kind of cool too, right? Like, you love your mother-in-law. Okay, Steffi, will you come up with me, please? Woo! Sorry, guys. I got dry mouth. So, here's your microphone. So this is Stephanie.
Hi, everybody out there. So cool to see.
I know. I love seeing their little hands waving. It's amazing.
I just want the cat suit, though, to be honest.
I know, right? Like, we need, like, pink cat suits and black cat suits. So you had a lemonade stand, right? And you told me, and I know a little about your story because we met in our lemonade stand. I'll let you share that. But you said, well, I want you to tell everyone kind of what you told me about. Like, I remember why I started a lemonade stand of my own because, like, I wanted to be able to do this.
Yeah, so Kaelin told her story, and obviously, like, our timelines kind of align, although I lived all the way on the other side of the country, and I didn't know you then. But about 12 years ago or so, someone had come to me. I was working out at the gym and said, hey, I love these supplements. You should try them too. And I said, okay, what the heck? But at the same time, ironically, I had visited this really sweet private school that I was dreaming that my daughter could go to. She was in elementary school, going to middle school. She was really, really struggling in public school. And I couldn't afford it. But I was trying in my mind to figure out how I could make it happen. And when I started using those supplements and started having some success, I started thinking, well, I guess it was like a light bulb moment that, hey, maybe I could also share these supplements that someone gave me that I started to have success with and really enjoyed, and start my own lemonade stand and maybe earn enough money to send her to that private school. And I think it was like, I don't know, $500 or $600 a month. And that was like a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Like, that's a lot of money for anybody. And I was so determined. Like, that was my why. That was my why to have this little lemonade stand. That was my why. And secretly in the back of my head, I thought, I want to do this. I want to send her there. I get the chills like thinking about it. I want her to have success. And that was what really drove me. And that's where my lemonade stand started.
I love it. So what happened, like, when your daughter got to go to that school, that private school, like, what did that open up, her to? Like, the difference of, like, she was here, and then I lined her up with this opportunity to go to a private school because of my lemonade stand. And then what happened from there?
Well, first of all, I can remember like the first day that she got to go, and she got to pick out her locker, and she got to meet the kids, and the classrooms had only like 12 people per class. And I immediately saw her blossom, not only as a girl, a young girl, but as a student. She started feeling confident, like it just snowballed. And fast forward to years later, she's been able to go to college and have tons of success there. And it just really opened a lot of doors for her that I know wouldn't have happened if she had been stuck in a private school with, I don't know about you guys, but in my state, there's like 35 kids per class in public school. So it would have been hard.
Well, I want you to share too, like, we both started our own lemonade stands around the same time, but it just so happened to be like the same type of lemonade stand. And what's funny is I actually met you. Well, you go ahead.
I met Kaelin before Brandon met Kaelin. We were actually at an event for our very own lemonade stand that we're talking about, and got to meet her. Didn't know her very well, but was always inspired by her. Her and I both were kind of doing the same sort of health journey. We were sort of like ambassadors for the company, and we were in different age categories, and supporting that company and supporting that lemonade stand. And it was like phenomenal that months later, because we had also invited Brandon to go to a lemonade stand meeting with us, and you guys met, and wow, here we are.
Yeah, we met at an event, which is like one of the best things about like lemonade stand events is like they're freaking amazing, like off the walls. And I remember going, and Brandon like had introduced himself to me, and I was like, okay, like, who's this guy, like, with the tattoos talking to me, you know what I mean? But it was like we met first and knew each other. And I think one of the coolest parts was like how much fun we had and like how many friends we still have to this day. Like, I met my husband there. I met like some of my best friends I still have today. I met there. Like, it was like literally the best time ever. And I'd never had those type of relationships in my life before because I was on a different trajectory, a different mindset than all of my college friends. And so, it's cool to be around like-minded people. Like, it's amazing that want like more, right? I want more. I want to be able to do these things. I want to be able to send my kid to private school. I want to be able to send my daughter dance lessons. And then together we're like, you could do it, you could do it, you could do it. And we just like help each other and build each other up. And so I just think it's like the best thing on earth. And well, lucky to meet you. Extra lucky to meet my husband doing that. So is there anything like last thing you want to say? I'm going to bring you back up for VIP in just a little bit, but is there anything else you want to say about your lemonade stand?
Well, I think, really the last thing I would say is obviously, I was able to send her to that private school, but it also, as you said, it became so much more to me to be able to travel. I earned a trip to the Bahamas and was able to take my husband with me. And and I bought him a watch for Christmas, totally surprised him with all my own money, was able to give him the watch of his dreams at the time. And, it just empowered me in such a different way that all of those were like added unexpected bonuses. And lemonade stands are fun.
Yeah, I love it. Everybody get up for Stephanie.
Blah, 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 blah. I couldn't do it anymore. That was it. If you made it through this whole fucking challenge with me, make sure you hit the like button. Problem I have with this challenge is that it was a 5-day cake challenge. It was supposed to teach you how to jumpstart your weight loss journey. It did nothing but filter in people to another challenge or to join as a champion. What the did the people get from this challenge? What did anybody get from this challenge? Nothing. They got nothing.